Everything you see exists in a delicate balance. Respect all of the creatures, from the crawling ant to the sleeping dog, the flopping fish and the hungry cows.
Wilson, don't we eat the fish and the cows?
Yes, but when we pass away, our bodies become the grass, and the cows eat the grass. And so, we are all connected in the great circle of life.
STEAM friends, we are back with a new unit, and this unit is all about the Lion King. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hello? Oh, so we're not talking about the Lion King. Okay, oh no. I apologize. Okay, so what are we talking about? Because I totally just gave an award-winning performance. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can do that. Bye.
Hey, cut. Hey, man, take 2.
STEAM friends, this unit is about a different circle of life called ecosystems. Before we begin, let's go over each letter in the word STEAM. STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Great job! For this unit, we will focus on the S for science, the E for engineering, the A for art, and the M for math. Now let's explore. Ecosystems. Ecosystems are made up of all living and non-living organisms in an area that interact or connect with each other. Ecosystems consist of plants, animals, and other living things that make up the communities of life in an area, as well as non-living things such as the sun, soil, water, and air, and weather. Ecosystems contain many different kinds of life, and they can be as small as a puddle or as large as the ocean. Each organism has its own role to play in an ecosystem. Pause and discuss with your class about living and non-living organisms you see in a garden. Great discussion. I am very impressed with your thinking skills. Your mind is expanding with more knowledge every day. Keep up the great work. Here are some living and non-living organisms from a garden that I thought of. Flowers, worms, birds, butterflies, soil, rain, sun, fruits, vegetables, bees, squirrels, seeds, leaves, and bushes. Remember that ecosystems are made up of all living and non-living organisms in an area that interact or connect with each other. So a garden is its own ecosystem as well. Each of the organisms that we discuss can be found in a garden, work together, and has its own role to play. Each of those living organisms need food. All living things need food. To explain how living organisms get the food, they need scientists to write it down in an outline called a food chain. A food chain is an outline of who eats whom, just like the circle of life. A food chain is a single path outline of who eats whom that shows how energy, which is the ability to do work, flows through living things in an ecosystem. Energy in a food chain comes from the sun. A food chain is divided into 3 categories. Those categories are producers, consumers, and decomposers. Today, we're going to focus on producers. Producers are the first part of the food chain. They are living organisms that make their own food. Every plant is a producer. I bet you're wondering how a plant can make their own food. Great question. Take some time to discuss with your class about how you think plants make their own food. Plants use energy from the sun called photosynthesis to make their own food. So challenge time. For today's challenge, we are going to take an up-close look on plants, parts of a plant, and compare our plant diagram to an artificial plant. In this project, you will explore the S for science, the M for math, and the A for art. For this project, you will need blue construction paper, white yarn, a paper plate, scissors, yellow paint, a paintbrush, green construction paper, brown construction paper, sunflower seed packet, glue, a black marker, and a pencil. So instructions. Today, we are going to make a sunflower. Does anyone know what color a sunflower is? Let's say the color together on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yellow! Great job. So, step 1. We are going to paint our paper plate yellow. So we're just gonna put a little bit of paint on our plate. And we're gonna paint our plate, the whole plate. All right, now you're gonna set your paper plate aside to air dry. Next, you will use your pencil to draw a rectangle and 2 leaves on your green construction paper. Now, cut out your rectangle in 2 leaves. Now, take out your blue construction paper and glue your rectangle and leaves in the middle of your blue construction paper. You'll want to leave a little space at the top and the bottom for your flower and your soil. Now, we are going to cut out a medium-sized rectangle of brown construction paper. I folded my paper in half so I can cut it at the halfway mark. Next, glue the medium-sized rectangle of brown construction paper to the bottom of your blue construction paper. Now I'm going to cut mine just a little bit more. There we go. Now you're going to take your white yarn and cut about 4 to 5 small pieces. And you're going to place and glue those small pieces of yarn onto your brown construction paper. Now you're going to open up your sunflower seed packet and we're going to count 20 seeds by 1s, 2s, 5s, and 10s. So first we're going to count by 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys can count with me. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, now let's count by 2. So we're going to take 2 seeds at a time and count. Here's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Good job. Now let's count together by 5s. So we're going to take out 5 seeds. Here's 4 and 5. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15. And our last set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is 20. And then our last counting we're going to do is counting by 10s. So we know that 5 and 5 make 10. So here is 10. Then we have 5 and 5 again. That's 10. So 10, 20. Great job, you guys. Now we're going to set aside our seeds, and we're going to check on our yellow paper plate. If it is dry, mine is dry right now, you can cut small slits around your paper plate like this. All right, now we are going to glue our paper plate to the blue construction paper on top of our green rectangle. How cute is this? All right, now in the middle of your yellow paper plate, we're going to glue our 20 sunflower seeds in the design of your choice. So if you like to take your time and put them row by row, you can do that. Or you can put them all on the paper plate at the same time. It is your design. I'm going to go row by row. Very good. So there you have it. You have created a sunflower diagram. Look at that. Awesome. So now we are going to label our flower. Starting at the top, you're going to take your black marker, and we are going to write what this whole picture is. And it's a sunflower. So we're going to write the word sunflower on the top of our paper. Sunflower. Next, the yellow slits we made on our paper plate are our petals. So we're going to label this petals. Now our 20 count of sunflower seeds are the flower seeds. So we're going to label that seeds. And so we know what that is. We're going to try to draw like an arrow to it. And you can even draw a picture so you know. Seeds. And you can do that so you know that it's seeds. Good. And then you're going to label your green rectangle. That is called the stem of the flower. So right here, we're going to write the word stem. And then your 2 green leaves on the side will be labeled leaves. And the white yarn on the bottom of our paper on top of our soil will be labeled roots. So our brown part is the soil. And then we have our roots. So STEAM friends, I hope you enjoyed learning about ecosystems. Today, we learned that ecosystems are made up of all living and non-living organisms in an area that interact or connect with each other. We also learned that a food chain is a single path outline of who eats whom. That shows how energy, the ability to do work, flows between living things in an ecosystem. And it has 3 categories. Energy in a food chain starts with the sun. And those categories are the producer, consumer, and decomposer. Today, we focused on producers as we made a sunflower diagram. We learned that producers are the first part of the food chain. They are the living organisms that make their own food. Each plant is a producer. Plants make their own food through a process called photosynthesis, the use of energy from the sun to make food. Think about it. Today, we learned the parts of a plant, starting with the flower. The flower and its petals attract insects and birds. These animals move pollen from flower to flower, which help flowers produce new seeds. We will talk more about this next week. The stem. The stem supports the flower and carries nutrients and water to the leaves. Leaves. The leaves use light from the sun to turn nutrients from the soil into food for the flower. The seeds. Seeds produce new flowers. Roots. The roots hold the flower in the ground and pull water and nutrients from the soil, which they transport to the stem. So a small challenge. You're going to take out your artificial flower and your magnifying glass. And you are going to see what parts of the flower you can identify and what you notice in those parts of the flower. So, questions. Can you find the petals, the stem, and the leaves? What else do you notice about the flower? Take time to think about how insects and birds help produce new seeds, and we will explore that next week. And lastly, what other flowers could you make like we made the sunflower? Maybe you'll want to be creative and make a garden of flowers. Don't forget to look over your STEAM career cards. You could be an ecologist, an entomologist, an engineer, or a botanist. Until next time, my STEAM friends, be great. Bye-bye.